welcome back guys. This is going to be the first build series of Project XG. I'll be creating a Scrambler based sporty, something I've always wanted to do but I've never had the right base model or the right foundation to build from. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this Scrambler that I've bought. So I'm sure some of you have seen this Scrambler before. It was actually originally a Battle of the Kings bike. So for those that don't know what Battle of the Kings is, it's a yearly competition that Harley Davidson do. First started in 2016 from memory, and it was based around creating a Sportster from the dealerships, and they had a limited budget. The theme when this Battle of the Kings came out was Evel Knievel. So this bike was created in that way. As you can see, it's got all the custom paint, which is in really good condition. And then on top of that, it had big chunky tires, which you can clearly see. Since the Battle of the Kings, the owner changed it a little bit more. Went from mag wheels to spoke wheels, which I thought was a really good choice. So the wheels themselves are actually from a Dyna, which gives the tyres then more of a chunky width. And then on top of that, there's been other things added by another custom garage. So things like the mid controls have been changed, as you can see. In terms of the history of the bike, it's had one owner. Total miles is 1,501, and it has had its 1,000 mile Harley Davidson service. Looking at it, further inspection, so I'm always open and honest with you guys. There are areas that need improvement, and there's a bit of surface rust, or quite a bit of surface rust in certain areas of the frame, and that's the reason why today I really want to strip this bike all the way back. I want to create a really good condition Scrambler that not only looks the part, but actually rides the part as well. So please make sure guys that you follow the journey of Project XG. I promise you by the end of it, it's going to look super, super cool. So here we go, day one, Project XG. I've got to strip it down right back to the frame. I've got a couple of hours today just to get into this. I'm going to see how much I can physically get done. As always, got my Harley Davidson service manual here. So I'll be following this every step of the way. So without further ado, let's get onto it and start unbolting it. First bolt, here we go. There we go. We're off to a flying start. And I must say guys, well done to one of the subs who saw me taking off one of these bolts on Fat G with a torque wrench and saying, "Mark, no, you're gonna break your torque wrench." So thanks for that heads up. Lesson learnt, first bolt. And whilst I'm undoing this, I thought I'd just say to you guys, obviously this paint job is pretty nice. But for me, the Evel Knievel look is not something that I personally want to go for. So I've actually put it up for sale, and ideally I don't really want to spray over it because I think it's, well, just thinking away, it's kind of a bit disrespectful because it is such a good paint job. But if I don't sell it, if no one wants to buy it, I'll sell it all individually and see if there's any takers. So onto the last bolt, and then that is the front fender off. Okay, let's grab the front fender off. Be a bit careful with it. Like so. Just having a bit of a look at it. Yeah, it's a nice paint job. It's feel really good. Let's put this either side, but before I do that, as always, let's just put these bolts back in so I don't miss them, or lose them I should say. Check that out. Now I've got to make a decision whether I'm going to have a front fender on the Scrambler once it's all completed. I must say I've seen a lot of images offline with the fender off, with those chunky tyres, and I think it looks really neat. Much better than it did with Fat G over there without that front mudguard, or fender. Oh my god, the word police are going to come after me next. But yeah, decisions for later on. But these tyres, guys, they're awesome. They're 120 in width. So just looking at the brand of the tyres, Michelin, and these are Anarchy, Looked at these online in terms of reviews, really positive. Lots of people saying that for a 50-50 off-road, on-road, it's a good balance. The only thing that people were saying is that they were quite noisy on the roads, but I'm yet to confirm that. But once we've put this bike back together, which could be a while from now, I'll let you guys know what it's like. So next I'm going to take off the Saddleman tracker kit. Now this is really odd for me, not the tracker kit itself, but the way it's been put on. So if you look at the Saddleman website, you can actually buy the frame which you would cut the struts and then weld it on. But it seems what's been done here, they've left the original struts on the frame, and then they've just put the tracker kit on top. So it just looks, it's not clean basically. So I'm going to rip this all off and show you guys what it's like. But I'm going to talk a lot about the condition of this bike, and I'm sure I've probably spoken about it in the intro, but if you don't look after your Harley, if you don't clean it down when you go out, especially during the winter season with all the salt on the road in the UK, blah, 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 it is going to affect the Harley. And I can see that where they've done the customization here, they have removed the fender hood, which usually goes on top of the wheel. You probably can't see this, guys, about here. So in that case, it would at least stop all the crap going up into the frame. But with this bike, they've removed the hood, the crap's gone up in the frame, and it's started eroding, giving it a bit of surface rust on the frame itself. So that's why I need to powder coat this frame again. But it just shows you've got to look after your Harleys. So last bolt. There we go. Bada boom. One Saddleman tracker kit. So this is a really good example of basically not maintaining your Harley. I mean, it is pretty rough. Oh, there is part of the fender hood here. I can see that. So I take that back. And it looks like, oh, there has been a frame mounted. So I'm not too sure if that's the tracker frame, because the one that I've seen is much more sturdy than that. It's got brackets going across. So I think this is their own fabrication. But, you know, look along here, guys. I mean, this can be sorted. It is literally surface rust. So that'll be fine. And in fact, dependent on what I do, because I'm thinking at the moment, I'm either going to have a motocross style fender coming off here, in which case the struts will be cut, so that'll be gone, or I'll have a ring going round like so with the seat across. But yeah, that's where we are for now. So welcome to the bloopers. So I tried to get this bolt off and it was just rounding off in there. The bolt's gone really soft, so that's not going to be able to come out. I'm not going to bother doing this one, because really what's going to happen, no matter which direction I take the Scrambler in, these struts are going to get cut off. So what I need to do is just get all this wiring back, get it away from this frame, and then all this will be exposed then. So I'll just crack on with that next. That's one. Let's do the other side. One, and then next one. Two. Beautiful. Okay, let's get into this. That's one. Nice. You know, keep it away from the wires. There we go. Job done. All safe. Okay, so next thing I need to do is locate the fuse and take it out. So just looking at the instructions, one of the things I've got to make sure is that with the fob present, I've got to turn it on. Obviously not press the ignition, and then remove the main fuse then, which is this big chunky one here. So need to get that done so I don't blow myself up messing about with the electrics then. So let's get on with it. What I've done quickly is just removed the main fuse, just to make sure that now I'm going into the electrical work, that there's no injury that comes to me. But it's a very simple operation. Just pull it out here like so. You've got this cap that's over it, flip that off, and then you've got the main fuse here. Just pull it out and leave it like so. I'm going to pop the cap back on just to make sure it's nice and secure, and then put it back like so. Bada boom. Okay, next we need to go on to is removing the fuel tank. So I'm just reading the instructions and then we can get on with this. Okay, so what we need to do is follow this electrical line all the way through here and then disconnect it here. So I'm just going to remove this cover. Okay, just removing this cover, a little bit painful to do it, but it'll eventually come off. I'm not joking, I think that's probably one of the most painful removals I've done. So the cover is finally off. Okay, so that's all removed. Now it's just a case of taking this clip out then. So, trying to understand the fastener side. Let's see if I can round here. There we go. Out like so. Beautiful. Okay, next part is the fuel pump. So I'm just gonna lift up and then twist and then pop this out, and only a small amount of fuel should come out. So he says, like so, which it has, which is great. So any other residue, I can just get rid of that. Next thing is the overflow. So I'm just going to pull this off. Nice and easy. He says, like so. So that's it. We've disconnected the fuel supply, disconnected the overflow, and we've disconnected the electrics as well. So all that's left to do, pop these bolts out, off even, rear, front. Got to be very careful with the tank when I move that. I just don't want it to hit the front bars. And then yeah, that's pretty cool. That's the first ever petrol tank I would have taken off, or fuel tank, gas tank. Weird police. Nearly lost that bolt. Let's get the tank off, careful at the front, and then wash. Brilliant. There we go. Boom. And as I said earlier, just want to keep these bolts in the frame at the moment, because what I will do next week, I'll have some freezer bags which I'll put certain bolts in, label them all up so I know where everything goes then. Okay, next thing I want to do is take this belly pan off. It's seen better days, but I'm going to try and either recondition it or get a new one. So here we go. So you can just see all these bolts here, they just look absolutely manking. Oh. Some washers behind it. Cool. And then underneath. Folks, I can't explain to you what a pain in the arse this has been. So I had to turn the camera off. I was literally blowing so much. It was just a right pig's ear. So we've just got the last part. And I think the last thing I said to you guys was I could probably recondition this. And I don't think so. There we go. I mean, look at the state of that. Jesus. At least all that's off. Bolts are out. There we go. But I will get a belly pan, I'm sure of it. Oh. Okay, so jack the bike up, it's pretty secure. Now I'm gonna buy another scissor lift, exactly the same as that this week, so I can put both of them under the frames. It'll be super secure, very sturdy. But what I want to do today now is get that front wheel attacked, get it all off, get the forks off, and take speedo, handlebars, hand controls, all that stuff, dismantling it all the way down then. So let's get cracking. So now we've taken care of the mounting bolts on the caliper, we can then remove the disc like so. Very different from Fat G, much more space that I've got here. So if we just take it back, and there we go, there it is. So just leave it there like so. And next, what I'll do then is remove the axle bolt here and then get this front wheel away from the bike then. Same thing as I did before. Let's keep the caliper nice and safe up here. There we go. That's come away nicely. And again, there we go. And a couple more turns. Just make sure it's nice and loose, like so. And then what I'll do is undo the pinch bolt around the side then. As I mentioned, just removing, or loosening, sorry, the pinch bolt, like so. Couple of turns. Okay, a couple more. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, next part is the fun part. We are going to hit the wheel out, or hit the axle out. So what I'm going to do is just unscrew this like so, and then I'm going to use a rubber mallet to hit it all the way through, out this end, and then bring the wheel out. Always make sure, guys, ABS, you've got your front ABS sensor here. Be really, really careful. If you stretch it, it's going to break. Here we go. It's like mallet's mallet. Okay, once you've popped it through, just take out the axle nice and slowly, remembering you've got your ABS sensor here, like so. And then there it is. Keep everything all nicely together. And then you can put the wheel down like that. Perfect. I was going to stop because it's a little bit unstable, but I've managed to find my niece's chair, a little chair, shoved it under the front of the frame. Not advisable by any stretch of the imagination, but it's going to keep it stable whilst I get another scissor lift in, and I'm going to whap these forks off pronto. Right, so let's get on with it. There we go. There they go. Oh no, that's lower. Oh, my back! My neck and my back! Okay. Thought it would have popped off by now. Extremely tight. There we go. There's the first one. Brilliant. There we go. One Evel Knievel fork leg. Bit of action. Pulling it through. God, that was so tight. Oh, there you go. That's come through. Like so. So what you can see with the forks is that they've had extenders put on. So if I look at it in terms of how long they are, it looks like 1.5 inches. That they've increased the length of the fork. So from my perspective, I do want to go back to standard in terms of shock length. That suits me better. And actually from a ride perspective, it'll be better on the rear shocks when I buy them, so I'll know exactly how they'll sit without trying to guess if I need to get higher shocks, etc. So yeah, that is the front shocks off. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is hand controls off, mirrors off, speedo off, risers off, and then we'll just be left with the yokes. Okay, first mirror off. I've actually got some really nice mirrors to put on this. And all the stuff that I put on, guys, I'll make sure that There's links in the descriptions and all that stuff, because I know it is a nightmare finding good parts. Oh! Bada boom. Okay, let's get to the hand controls. Hand controls coming away. Boom. Brilliant. Just place them down like so. As always, keeping the bolts in there. Okay, last hand control. Bosh. They just come away like so. Brilliant. We are getting there. We are getting there. Okay, next on to the top clamp. Let's get that off. These will definitely need replacing because already I can see that they're rounding off. And that's not from me. Okay, so unfortunately I'm going to have to stop there. I was taking the top clamp off and the Torx bit got stuck. So it's completely rounded, so I'm going to have to buy another one. I can get that this week, start again next Saturday. It's been a good crack. We've got lots and lots done, I think. So next week when I get back, get the rear wheel off, get the swing arm off, sort that electrical stuff at the rear. I may actually go and chop the frame as well, whilst the rear wheel's off. But yeah, apart from that guys, hope you enjoyed the vlog. One vlog every week, I promise. And without further ado, stay safe, keep away from COVID-19. See you on the next vlog. Motonewbrider.